Hey there, have you ever found yourself scrolling through your Netflix queue at 2 a.m., desperately needing something that's both entertaining and oddly comforting? What if I told you that the answer might be hiding in the most mundane place of all, workplace comedies? Yeah, I know, it sounds like the last thing you want after a grueling week. But here's the twist, these shows aren't just about laughing at chaos. They're mirrors held up to our own lives, reflecting everything from the absurdity of office politics to the quiet heroism of people who show up every day, even when the coffee machine is broken. Let me break down why these 7 picks are worth your time, and why they might just change the way you see your own job. Take The Intern, for instance. Robert De Niro playing a 70-year-old in a startup. On paper, it sounds like a recipe for cringe. But what makes this really interesting is how it subverts expectations. It's not about the generational clash you might expect, it's about the quiet wisdom that comes with experience. I mean, how often do we assume older people are out of touch? This movie quietly argues that mentorship isn't about age, it's about perspective. And let's be real, watching Anne Hathaway's character slowly realize she's not the only one with wisdom in the room is oddly cathartic. It makes you wonder, how many times have we dismissed someone's advice just because they didn't look like the right person to give it? Then there's The Devil Wears Prada. I'll admit, I used to think this was just a fashion-centric rom-com, but the deeper you dig, the more you realize it's a masterclass in workplace toxicity. The way Andy's character is forced to reinvent herself to survive? That's not just about fashion, it's about how we're constantly pressured to conform to invisible standards. What many people don't realize is that this show is a subtle critique of corporate culture's obsession with image over substance. And here's the kicker. The more you watch it, the more you start questioning your own job's expectations. Are you changing for the role, or are you changing because the system demands it? Now, let's talk about parks and recreation. This isn't just a show about a park, it's about the power of stubborn optimism. Leslie Knope's character is the kind of person who would turn a pothole into a community garden if she had to. But what makes this show so relatable is how it balances absurdity with real-world struggles. The bureaucratic red tape she faces? That's your HR department. The eccentric coworkers? That's your team. And the friendships that form? That's the glue that keeps us all going. I think what this really suggests is that maybe the best workplaces aren't the ones with the fanciest titles, they're the ones where people actually care about each other. And let's not forget TVF Pitchers. This Indian series is like a startup version of The Office, but with higher stakes. Watching these friends try to build a company from nothing is both hilarious and heartbreaking. The pressure from family, the funding struggles, the internal conflicts, it's all too familiar. What's fascinating is how it portrays entrepreneurship not as a glamorous dream, but as a messy, exhausting grind. It makes you wonder, how many startups fail not because of bad ideas, but because of the emotional toll of trying to convince everyone, including yourself, that it's worth it. When you dive into Maamla Legal Hai, you're not just getting courtroom humor, you're getting a glimpse into a profession that's rarely shown in its true, chaotic light. Lawyers aren't just arguing in front of judges, they're dealing with office rivalries, personal ambitions, and the occasional bizarre case that makes you question reality. This show is a reminder that even in the most serious professions, there's room for levity. And honestly, watching someone try to become a bar association president while dealing with a printer jam is a form of therapy I didn't know I needed. Abbott Elementary is the kind of show that makes you feel seen. These teachers are fighting for basic supplies, dealing with clueless administrators, and still finding ways to inspire kids. It's a raw look at underfunded schools, but it's also a celebration of resilience. The way they band together to overcome absurd obstacles. That's the kind of teamwork we need more of in every workplace. And let's be honest, watching a teacher try to organize a field trip with a budget of $20 is the kind of chaos that makes you laugh until you cry. Finally, Cubicles gives us a peek into the early days of corporate life. It's not just about the awkward first job, it's about the tiny victories that make you feel like you've made it. That first paycheck, the late-night coding sessions, the friendships forged over stale office snacks. It's a reminder that even the most mundane moments can be meaningful. And if you've ever felt like a fish out of water in a corporate environment, this show might just make you feel a little less alone. So the next time you're looking for something to binge, consider these workplace comedies. They're not just about laughing at the absurdity of office life, they're about finding connection, perspective, and maybe even a little hope in the chaos. And who knows? You might just find yourself reflecting on your own job in a whole new light.